Orion Wars. The main battles in human galactic history were fought in the constellation of Orion, and so these many wars are referred to as the Orion Wars. In our universal time matrix, the wars started over territories in the constellation of Lyra, the cradle of Lyra. But soon the Lyran Wars spread to the constellation of Orion, and it became a war between false king of tyranny mindsets and ideologies with ideology of the service to others which follow the law of one. Essentially, this is the seed of the war over consciousnesses between the Christ and the Antichrist. The main humanoid races were committed to the law of one and service to others' Christic ideology. The opposing groups were mixtures of humanoids and reptilian races that propagated service to self and Antichrist methods. These wars over tyrannical control and service to self ideology originated in the constellations of Draco and Orion. The genetic hatred generated from the Orion group digressed into the violent killing and destruction at the expense of others, which resulted in the propagation of the victim-victimizer mind control. Orion Black League. Orion Black League is a well-known term used to describe the resistance during the intergalactic Orion Wars. The intergalactic Orion Wars started off as a war between two parties. They were the Empire on one side, and the armies of light on the other. Later on, the rebels also entered the scene, as a third party. Some authors use the Black League to indicate the troops of the Empire, while other authors such as Lisa Royal refer to the rebels as the Black League. Third Harmonic Universe. For human beings, these consciousness bodies exist throughout the densities and are aspects of the higher self and light body. These aspects are called the stations of identity. In the third harmonic universe in 7D 8D 9D exists the three layers of the monadic matrix and the Gaian matrix. Lyran Wars. Based on the age of the suns and the planets in our galaxy, it was decided that the human life form was to be created in the Lyran system, which is the avatar timelines in the universal time matrix. The human race lived there for approximately 40 million years, evolving. The orientation of the human race in Lyri was agricultural in nature. Apparently, we were very plentiful and abundant, and lived in peace serving principles of the law of one. Then, one day, huge craft appeared in the sky. A large ship came out of the huge craft and approached the Lyran planet Bila, and reptilians from Alpha Draconis disembarked. Apparently, the Alpha Draconians and the Lyrans were afraid of each other. Alpha Draconians were apparently the first race in our galaxy to have interstellar space travel, and have had this capability for 4 billion years. When the Draconians came and saw the Lyran planet, with all its abundance and food and natural resources, the Draconians wanted to control it. There was apparently a miscommunication or misunderstanding between the Draconians and Lyran humans. The Lyrans wanted to know more about the Draconians before some kind of assistance was offered. The Draconians mistook the communication as a refusal, and subsequently destroyed 3 out of 14 planets in the Lyran system. The Lyrans were basically defenseless against this war. The planets Spila, Taka, and Merc were destroyed. Over 50 million Lyran humans were killed. It is at this point in history that the Draconians began to look at humans as a food source. This is how old the struggle is between the reptilian and human races. Now, I must make the point that not all the reptilian or human races are dark. There is a mixture. When we start meeting these races again, one will need to trust your gut instinct. It is ingrained in the draconian hierarchies to teach them to never trust a human. They are taught the draconian version of the history of the Great Galactic War, which teaches that humans are at fault for invading the universe, and that humans selfishly wanted the draconian society to starve and struggle for the basic materials that would allow them to exist. War through genetic alteration. Now, our government, the United States government, the New World Order, wants to implant everybody. From the Andromedan perspective, that means ownership and enslavement through mind control and altering DNA. Extraterrestrials value genetics. What they do is they come in, conquer a race and genetically alter it with bio-neurological technology. From that moment on, that race is genetically altered. The genetic changes alter the frequency, sound and thought patterns of the race if they move into a physical form, and it is inherited through the bloodlines into the future offspring. Mutated polarity consciousness, victim-victimizer. The goal of the invading entities which brought on the Lyran Wars, was to destroy access between the Universal Gates, Lyran Gates and Andromeda, to prevent any metaterrestrial founder races from gaining access into the Milky Way system, and preventing the future seedings and incarnations of the Christos founder race's DNA. But soon the Lyran Wars spread to the constellation of Orion and through the metagalactic core, where it became a war with those who wanted to dominate others in this system based upon the victim-victimizer fear-based mindsets. This can also be called archetypal enemy patterning. Entities with the service to self ideology were attempting to enslave or eliminate those who followed the law of one, with the ideology of service to others that held love-based mindsets.